comments. You know, I played football, basketball, and baseball at Raytown South, but Coach Craddock had an incredible influence on my life as well. I mean, that's the kind of guy he was. Even if you didn't play for him, you'd be out football, basketball, or baseball practice, and there you see Coach Craddock running by, leading skinny power. You know, out on the run. And nobody tells better golf jokes than Bob Craddock. Maybe tomorrow when it takes time. But first, Dr. Markley, I did get the memo about Gene's Day. So I appreciate it.
I'll see you after.
I tend to get in trouble somehow, some way. So, but we got any Raytown Blue Jay fans in this crowd? Yay! We got any Raytown South Cardinal fans? Do we have any Missouri Tiger fans in this?
Yeah.
Well, if you're a Missouri Tiger fan, you will remember back in 1990, the Colorado Buffaloes ventured into Columbia, Missouri, and the coach of that team was Bill McCartney. It took him 5 downs to beat the Tigers. Everybody remember that? Yeah. Well, in my long television career in Denver, I've gotten to be good friends with Coach McCartney, and used to host his coach's show and all that kind of stuff, and we remain close. I see him frequently these days, and Coach Mack loves to talk about the 4 most powerful words in the English language, especially when used together as a phrase. What do you think they are? I believe in you. And when I look back on my time here in Raytown, Missouri, through Southwood Elementary School, Raytown South Junior, Raytown South High School, I was so blessed to have so many people around me, whether it was my family, whether it was teachers, coaches, other parents, wherever I went in this community, it seemed like I was constantly being reminded, McIntosh, if you keep your butt out of trouble, you've got some potential here. We believe in you. And so today I'd just like to talk about 4 people in particular that meant so much to me growing up. And unlike all the other inductees, and it's been great getting to know some of the guys that I didn't know. I've known Ed, obviously I knew Coach Craddock. They were so much more well-rounded than I was. I mean, all I did was play sports, you know, and hang out with my buddies, you know. And so I wasn't a real well-rounded guy. But I was so blessed to have people around me constantly that just always reminded me, McIntosh, we believe in you. And I start this with Al Maddox. Al Maddox coached so many of my youth teams. And Al was fiery. Al was so fiery that he had to, they wouldn't let him sit in the dugout with us. He had to sit up in the stand. You know, the refs or the umps wanted to keep him as far away. But Al was the coach of the very first championship team I played on. Bobby Denier and Doug. And Biff, you weren't on that team. Were you on the Raytown Kiwanis baseball team? Raytown Kiwanis, very first baseball team, very first championship team I ever played on. Al Maddox was the coach. And Al, throughout my childhood, and Donna, they were always there, and they were always saying, McIntosh, we believe in you. So Al, thank you very much, buddy. I appreciate that. And family, trust me, you're going to get hit tomorrow. I'm going to thank everybody on this tomorrow. Another guy that was incredibly influential in my life was Coach Latham. I started getting handwritten notes from Coach Latham back in elementary school. And he was trying to convince me not to play football most of the time. You can be a star! But Coach Latham, I think more than anybody else, taught me how to compete. You heard Ed earlier talking about they'd open up the gym during the summer, and you know, the Kansas City Kings would come over and play. The guys from KU, MU, K-State. I mean, here I am. I'm in junior high, and I'm playing against the Ed Stolls and Bobby Halls and Randy Culbertsons and all those guys. And Bud Dog is out there. Bud Dog's diving for loose balls. And so, you know, he taught us how to compete. And I got a handwritten note from him here recently after learning about this wonderful honor, and thank you to the Hall of Fame committee, Kathy and crew. And it was kind of interesting. Bud always likes to write these handwritten notes, and you can tell he's getting a little long in the tooth because this note just went all the way up the page. It didn't go across the page, it went up the page. But I just want to thank Coach Lathrop, and I hope that see him tomorrow. He's another guy that constantly said, McIntosh, I believe in you. And then there's Vance Morris. He's in the back there. Coach, Vance Morris back there. Vance Morris is in the 52nd year of coaching football. 52 years. Coach Morris, he took a chance on me. Back in my day, high school was sophomore through senior. And he took a chance on me and gave me the starting varsity quarterback job as a sophomore. And it wasn't an easy decision in that there was a guy who had been the JV quarterback who was going to be a senior. And he was a pretty good player, and he was very popular with his buddies. And Coach Morris gave me a shot. And I'll never forget the very first game. We're over at Raytown Stadium. We're taking on the North Kansas City Hornets. My high school career could not have started any better. We're marching down the field. Everything's clicking. We get inside the 10-yard line. It's third down. And we call T36 pass. And we had practiced T36 pass so many times in practice. And I knew to reverse out, ride the fullback, and then roll out. Because if I couldn't throw the ball, then I could run it. And if I threw it and they picked it off, I'd be out there to make the tackle. The best laid plans sometimes don't work out. I take the snap, I reverse out, I ride the fullback, and then I was getting some pressure, so I drop back, and I throw the ball out in the flat to the North Kansas City goal line. A North Kansas City Hornet intercepts the ball and goes 100 yards the other direction. I was trying to find a tunnel off the field. I could feel, the anger from these seniors and say, see that young guy, he can't get this job done. So I'm walking off the field, I'm so dejected. And then I bump into Coach Morris, who had walked out onto the field to greet me. And he goes, you know what you did wrong, don't you? I said, yeah, I didn't roll out. He goes, you know what? I know it'll never happen again. I believe in you. And I have never forgotten that, Coach. And then there's Coach Johnson. Coach Johnson took over for Coach Morris when Coach Morris went on to Austin College. Coach Johnson took over, and we had a great first year. We went undefeated. First team ever in school history to go undefeated and advance the state playoffs. Second year wasn't so good. Right, Biff? Our senior year, we sucked. Dan Hafley, teammate up here. But I'll never forget. And I look forward to talking to the Raytown football team this afternoon. And I'm going to share this, that my final game. And little did I know that it would be my final football game, because I'd get poked in the eye during the basketball season and my athletic career was over. Final game, we're taking on the Raytown Blue Jays. We're up by about, I'll have to check the record book to know for sure, but we're up by, I think, about 10 points in the fourth quarter. Back then, they didn't have artificial turf. So by the end of the year, there was no grass up there, because Raytown got to practice on that field all the time. So, I'm whining, It's the only time I can whine, So we're up 10, early in the fourth quarter. We call I-right 48 pitch. It's real simple. I just take the snap, toss it to the halfback, and then I get out in front, and the offensive lineman's out in front, and we block, and we try to get things going. It's like third down. We pick up one more first down, this game's over. So I take the pitch, I pitch it to Bill Cole. I'm out in front of Bill Cole. We got somebody else. We could have ran to Liberty before any Blue Jay would have hit us. But he went to cut on that field that had no grass because the Blue Jays always practice on it. He tried to cut up field, slipped, fell.
That's too bad.
We had to punt the ball. I a lot of sympathy for the Blue Jays out there. Right? We had to punt the ball away. David Baker. David Baker. Let's hear it for David Baker. David Baker, great running back for the Blue Jays. So we punt it to them. Like first or second play, Baker goes like 75 yards. So now it's a 3-point game. Then they do it. There's only like 2 minutes to go in the game. Onside kick. Blue Jays recovered. Marched down and scored. We lost a game that we should have never lost. So I am in the locker room. We've gone back to South. I'm sitting in front of my locker. It's my final high school game. I'm bawling like a baby. Coach Johnson comes and grabs me, says, "Follow me." We walk into the red room, which is our team meeting room. Coach Johnson gave me one of his signature sugar bear hugs. He said, "I love you." Coach Johnson's always believed in me. He's the one that nominated me for this. Thank you, Coach. And I just want to encourage everybody. I would suspect that there's somebody in your life right now, maybe in your home, perhaps where you work, maybe in the community, that could really use you to say, "I believe in you." I just want to encourage you to take a little time, call somebody, go see them. Please don't text them or email them. Call them, go visit them, and just let them know that you believe in them. Allie B, Bud Dog, Oski, Sugar Bear, you all believed in me. And so many other people in this room believed in me as I was growing up. And I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart.
And